Hey pals, and welcome to See You Next Tuesday. Do, 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 do. This week's topic is Disney. I figured I've already gone over The Little Mermaid and how much I love her, so I figured I would talk about the 2 times I have been to Disneyland. Well, 1 and not times. When I was in high school, I went on a mission trip with my church to Mexico. It was really fantastic. I was sick for most of it. I think it was more anxiety than actual sickness. But we painted and built stuff at this camp, and we also taught a vacation Bible school to a church, for a church, and it was literally the size of my bedroom, and the church didn't even have a roof. It was fascinating to see. Like, I had no idea, that parts of the world actually live like that. And there were dogs everywhere, these sad, mangy dogs, and no one loved them. It was horrible. We're all very traumatized by that, but the kids were great. Totally hard to do stuff and speak another, like, I didn't speak Spanish, I still don't, so. But it was an awesome trip, and on our way back, we drove to California, and then we flew from California back to Oregon. And we all stopped at Disneyland for the day. We were staying at a Salvation Army, YMCA, I don't know, some sort of weird little place. And I got really sick and I couldn't go. I went in the car that morning and I was like, I can't do it. So they had to bring me back, and I sat the whole day by myself trying to sleep in this weird sanctuary, and I heard ghosts because even the people that worked there weren't there. And it was really sad, and I missed out on Disneyland. The next time when I actually went to Disneyland was again in high school. I was 16. And I went with my family, and my grandma bought us this like 5-day pass. Like, it's this huge deal, super excited. I mean, like, I had like every Winnie the Pooh anything. I mean, I loved Winnie the Pooh. I loved the princesses. I mean, like, I was a like Disney girl, like Disney girl. So I was really excited. When we got there, the first day, we tried to go on the Indiana Jones ride. My dad's in a wheelchair, and they said that for the rides, if he could get from his wheelchair, like if he could get out of his wheelchair, he could ride the ride, but it takes him a second. And they aren't allowed to help, which is fine, like we can do it, but it just takes him a minute to transfer from his chair to a ride. They got really impatient, like everybody was like standing around, like getting really mad. And then, my dad gets stressed out and it makes it harder for him to move. So he finally gets into the Jeep thing, and we go, and he's like, I felt like he was half hanging out. We were sitting behind him, and he and my grandma were in the front. And to me, like, he was halfway hanging out, and we're going over these, like, bridges that have, like, lava underneath them. And I'm like, oh my God, my dad's gonna fall out and he's gonna die on the Indiana Jones ride. And I'm, like, completely stressed out, and it was horrible. So after that, we decided, maybe he should stay in his chair for a lot of the rides. So really the only rides that he could go on were like the Pirates of the Caribbean and the It's a Small World After All. Pirates of the Caribbean was good, but It's a Small World After All gets boring. Just saying. But we did get a cut, so that made it better. My favorite rides, though, was I love the Peter Pan ride. It was fantastic. It was my favorite ride. You go, like, up and down and swoosh around. It's beautiful. I love Peter Pan, one of my favorite movies, and loved that ride. And then I found out later that they turned it into the Aladdin ride. That's stupid. So you ride a magic carpet ride. Can't they, like, build another ride somewhere for Aladdin? Like, cool. I don't, like, hate Aladdin, but why get rid of Peter Pan? Seriously. Stupid. I was also really excited to see This Was Family Robinson House. Totally excited. Another one of my favorite movies. They had turned it into Tarzan. What? Not cool. So I was really bummed out there. So then we went to Space Mountain. I remember that I was so excited, and in line, my mom doesn't remember this. I don't know if she went on the ride with us. My grandma took the time to, because my grandma took us on this big trip. She decided this would be an appropriate time to talk about her funeral arrangements. Disneyland, happiest place on earth, and she wants to discuss her funeral arrangements. Not cool. I didn't want to be there anymore. It was horrible. I hated it. I wanted to go home. This was like day 2. I hated it. I was done with Disneyland. We didn't, I mean, like, after that, like, I didn't even want to see anything. Like, we didn't see, like, half the other places. Like, we didn't go anywhere else. I didn't even see the Bear Jamboree. None of that. None of that. Like, we didn't go very far after that. I was just too, like, I just wanted to sit on a bench. I watched a parade. I was, like, over it. I don't even remember anything much after that. It was really upsetting for me. Also, I had a boyfriend, my first boyfriend at the time. And it was for Thanksgiving, and I just wanted to talk to him. So I kept trying to convince people to buy me calling cards so I could call him. Oh, little Sarah. Poor, poor little Sarah. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Because in a month he's going to give you a promise ring. A sort of kind of promise ring. And then 3 days later he's going to break up with you. Also, it was November, and it was really hot, and I only brought, like, sweaters and jeans because I'm from Oregon, and November is cold, and I was dying. So we bought t-shirts from the restaurant that was in the parking lot of our hotel that was called Millie's, and I wore that for, like, the whole time. That was one of my nicknames, Sarah Mills. Millie. I thought it was pretty cool. Anyway, those are some of my stories about Disney. Maybe someday I'll go and have an actual, like, fun time, but I don't have high hopes for that ever happening because all I want to do is ride the Peter Pan ride, and it's not even there anymore. And that sucks. On a side note, my friend went to Europe on a cruise with her family, and she asked me what I wanted her to bring me back, and of course I said a hot man, but they're kind of hard to get through customs. So I said, fine, I want a French shark. So she brought me back a French shark. It's French, it's French, it's a French shark. Ciao, ciao. Wee wee. That's so funny. Anyway, thanks for joining me here this week on See You Next Tuesday. Join us tomorrow for Midweek Meltdowns with our friend Warren. Don't miss out. And I will see you next Tuesday. I'm wearing eyeliner.